Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. Today has been an interesting day, to say the least. And it is still not over yet, which I am waiting for it to be because it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Um, as you probably guessed, actually no, I didn't shoot a vlog yesterday. So, I was up all night last night. I know that's getting to be sounding repetitive, but once again, I was up all night last night studying for an exam. Tonight, luckily, I get to go to bed. So I'm going to be going to bed very shortly after I finish this cigar. But, yeah. What I'm having is a Monte Cristo Platinum Series. But yeah, today I actually wore my contacts for the first time. Not the red ones, but like the clear, basically practice contacts that they give you. So I wore those for the first time today, which was very interesting. Um, Glad I did it, and I'm definitely looking forward to different colored contacts because at least I can then see them in my eyes. Um, oh, and then I strung a couple of my rackets today, so I'm all set. All my match rackets are done, or all my actual playing rackets are done. Um, you'll probably be seeing this sometime at around noon tomorrow as well. Um, so yeah, that's basically all that's been going on lately. Oh yeah, I capitalized on Cyber Monday and downloaded a couple of games for my computer. I downloaded Skyrim. I downloaded 7 Days to Die. Um, what else did I download? Is it bad that I forget already? Uh, oh, and a very important thing is I installed an antivirus software on my computer finally. And the antivirus software I use is Kaspersky. It's a it's it's a very good antivirus software just because of its size and what it can do for the size of file it is. Let's see. I downloaded Saints Row 4, Hitman, codename 47. That's the original Hitman game, which must have come out, wow, a while ago since now, but I was able to get it off Steam for this computer. I downloaded Gary's mod, Terra, um, Bloodwood Reloaded. Then, of course, I also have Guns of Icarus. Um, so, yeah, those are all the games that I now have on that computer. So far, so good. I'm loving it so far. Though it apparently has its first virus already. So I'm working on getting rid of that, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. I think I've already actually succeeded in removing it, so that was good. But yeah, like I said, today's just been a very long day. Um, Mostly because the site where all the class notes are on, um, for the exam, that site crashed and was down from um, last night till like 10 o'clock this morning. So I was sitting there trying to like refresh it constantly, trying to get it to work, and it never did until 10 o'clock this morning. Which I was not happy about. I informed the professor of that. She didn't really care. But whatever. What can you do? I might take you guys on a journey with me this Saturday. This Saturday, my family's having an outing where we're going down to. I make it sound like we're going so far. We're going to Boston. We're going to walk around Faneuil Hall for Saturday. So um, probably bring the GoPro along with me to vlog it. Um, so you get to see some of my family in the vlog, most likely. Finally, I did some more Christmas shopping. I ordered a. I have relatives who are very big into coffee, so I ordered them some Death Wish coffee, which is by one of my favorite brands of coffee. Um, Not because of what it being black and having a skull on it is a perk, but not why I buy it. Death Wish coffee is the most caffeinated coffee on earth. So, and it is incredibly smooth. It is awesome. It is like it's like the smoothest coffee I've ever had. So it's yeah, it's the coffee that you have when you need to wake up. You really need to wake up in the morning. And I actually haven't had it in a couple of years actually, but so I'm kind of jealous that I'm giving it to them as a gift. I'm like, I want some. um, but yeah, it's um, it's been a couple more busy days, 2 more weeks, and then I'm on to finals, and then I'm out of there for the winter semester, and I can start focusing on my vacation, which I am going to enjoy greatly. And I actually will bring you guys along. Unfortunately, there will not be cigars in there unless I can smoke on the mountain because there is no smoking in the motel, and there's no local B&Ms either. So, and I don't wait. Can we smoke in the bars in New Hampshire? No, wait. Shoot, we're in Maine, so probably not. Yeah, it's fun living in Massachusetts because Massachusetts is probably one of the most strict, cut all the fun out of everything states in the union. And then we live right next to probably one of the most unregulated states in the union, which is New Hampshire. So I always remember smuggling fireworks down from New Hampshire into Mass where they're illegal. So that was, and then setting them off down here, and then the cops showing up, and then I didn't do that, but a lot of my neighbors do that. They make firework runs into New Hampshire, and they're firework runners. Um, yeah, only in New England. um, but with that, let's get on to some reading your comments. because I'm interested to hear what you guys' responses were to the everybody commented on this one. Ooh boy, everybody commented. Just or a lot of people. I got a good amount of comments, which I'm always excited about. I love hearing from you guys. That's what makes me want to do the vlogs every day, is hearing from you guys. So, and on the topic of a cigar hangout, unfortunately, I'm busy the next couple Saturdays, especially with school just finishing up. But probably I can plan on doing one as soon as finals get over, because then everything will be done and done and over with, and I can chill with a cigar and maybe get a few really good ones. I swear I'm smart in bringing up the comments. You just can't prove it on paper. Um, that was a really good joke by Ron White when he told it, and I just went and butchered it. Who, in case you're not aware, Ron White is running for president. Which makes me hope that there's a punchline somewhere. Then again, he is better than half the GOP candidates, so. Well, I think this is the very definition of a tight white ash. It's actually really impressive. It's kind of really cool that it's like that, like bleach white, and I don't know. I'm tired. Little things amusing me. I can't even speak. Little things amuse me. There we go. Cigar Hub says, good information on humidors. Thank you so much. Yeah. My pet peeve with with humidors being shipped is that they come with always that green whatever shit that they use to humidify a plastic piece of junk that they want you to use to keep it humidified. Problem: it's a one-way passive device that, in order for you to regulate your humidity, you have to repeatedly take in and out as needed. So that's a pain. Number two, they're very prone, from what I hear, at growing mold. So I would really just be fine if they just ship me the humidor and none of the plastic shit inside, because I always have them sitting in my drawer, or I throw them out, because I always have to buy a different humidification device. Bovita packs, yeah. Top three humidification devices that I've seen: Bovita packs, heartfelt beads, and the Cigar Oasis machine. And keep away from that green pieces of shit they keep in the humidors with that they send to you. Don't even bother using those unless you really want to work at it, because it's like, oh, It dropped. It's now it's 72. Gotta take it out. Then it drops back to 65. Oh, gotta put it back in. Oh, now we gotta take it out. Put it back in. Take it out. Put it back in. And while it's out, it's losing humidity to the atmosphere, so you're constantly refilling it. I literally just when I had that humidor, that little small humidor that you saw, it's fucking working great. I never hear the Cigar Oasis turn on because it never needs to because it has such a good seal. Whenever I open it, Cigar Oasis kicks right on, let me know that it's still got charge. So, and with the heartfelt beads in there too, it's like almost like overkill. But since the good thing about heartfelt beads is that they'll keep it at a humidity level. They're two-way, so there's no such thing as putting too much heartfelt beads in there because they will always keep it at that humidity level, or they'll absorb the extra humidity. So yeah, you can never have too many heartfelt beads. Um, so yeah, that's my whole spiel on humidors. Oh, and something I also I did mention the contacts already. Oh boy. Let me put it into perspective how busy I've been. I started a movie 3 weeks ago. I still have yet to finish it. I've still yet to have the time to sit down and finish the whole movie. And in case you're wondering, I'm watching The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm watching the Swedish version. I've already watched the English version. The only problem is that they didn't continue the English versions series, so I'm now, and it's a really cool series, so I'm continuing to watch it in the Swedish film version. But I wanted to get used to all the characters being in Swedish, so I'm watching the first movie over again. Goodbye, Ash. Rory, you left a comment in saying, "Well, aren't we just the ever nocturnal vlogger?" Not by choice. Not by choice at all. This just happened to be one of those times that I had the cigar, and always, always, my best cigar advice that I can give right now: if you buy a tubo from a tobacconist, open it up first before you buy it, because chances are it will have mold. And this one did, and it was a tubo. I always take them when I'm storing them. I sometimes take them out, sometimes don't. But this time I chose to take it out before I was going to store it. And this one had mold, not a lot, and none near the mouth, so I'm fine smoking it. I just brushed it off. But the problem is, even if you brush mold off, you're still leaving mold spores there. And the last thing you want to do is put a cigar that you know had mold on it into your humidor. That is the last thing you want to do unless you want to like commit humidor suicide or something. So, unfortunately, that means I have to smoke it tonight, which is grand when it's 1 o'clock in the morning. But I actually am enjoying it, so it's not so bad. And tomorrow's an easy day, besides weight room and besides tennis. Well, that should be fun. I quit staying up much past midnight watching YouTube as I need to get the few hours of sleep that I do get, most of which are interrupted. They are, however, still enough to fuel me to get me through the next day, like tending to my cats and coming on here a half a dozen times to see if you've uploaded big size when there aren't any. Sorry about that. Big smiles when there are. If that tells you anything, you always have such interesting stories to tell, to share. And thank you for your email, which yes I did get. I hope the videos I sent got to you. All I know is when I made them public for the page again and sent it to you via email, I got the message that said email sent successfully and asked if I wanted to send another. So all I can do is assume that it did go through. You can let me know or pull them up and embed any you wish to keep for yourself. I was also happy to see Mark's video. Um, I was also happy to see Mark's video. Another upload seemed to come in tonight. It does sound like you need to find a different job away from the gas station, but then that would probably wreck your whole 3-day weekend setup. No, actually the gas station interrupts my 3-day weekend setup. Same thing with Sports Authority, but the only reason why I'm there is to help out the owner. That's it. So, because we owe, well, I personally owe the owner a lot. So, even though he's kind of an idiot, he is a really nice guy. So I do owe him a lot. So, basically, whenever he needs me, I'll try to make time for him. So, but yeah, he's still an idiot. But he's a lovable idiot that you put in the corner just to keep away from everything, so he doesn't wreck anything. But yeah. Um, Even if you have to do some of the duties the others leave for you personally, I don't think I'd be all that comfortable working in a gas station, but luckily yours is not open 24 hours, which minimizes your risk of late night trouble. I'm not too concerned with late night trouble really in the area. The good thing about where I live, and a lot of people give the town I live in shit for being, it's not a small town, but it's not an overly big town. Most of the residents here have lived here like their entire lives and several generations. So basically everybody here knows each other in one way or another. So, um, it's like the crime rate is incredibly low. Um, and like very very low. Like I don't worry about robberies at all. Not to say I don't lock my doors because I'm not an idiot, but it's not something that I'm overly concerned about. It's not a very dangerous town at all. And so yeah, late night trouble at the gas station, I'm not really too concerned about. The only thing I am concerned about is if they do rob the place and I do hit the not so silent alarm. Which, and if you guys don't know the story behind that, um, one time we accidentally bumped into the silent alarm and it went off. And the silent alarm wasn't silent. It set off the alarm in the store and it was loud. So all I can imagine is You know, somebody trying to rob the place, you hitting the silent alarm and setting off the alarm. It's like, well, oops. Oopsie daisy. So we found that kind of funny. The not so silent alarm. Um, yeah. Hopefully we got that fixed. Because I really don't want to have somebody with a gun in my face and then have all the alarms go off. Don't think that's going to end too well for me. Do you ever have to go out and pump gas for customers who might have trouble doing it? All the time. Few things that I really think that every driver needs to learn how to do if they want to get behind the wheel of a car. Change a tire, use jumper cables, and know how to pump their own gas. Because I work at the gas station and because many people don't know how to do any of that, I wear many hats at that gas station. Not only am I the cashier, but I also clean the store and then pump people's gas. And then when their car breaks down, I have, even though we're not a shop, we don't have a mechanics or a garage there, I'm usually outside jacking it up, taking the tire off, putting the donut on, um, finding a solution to a cracked radiator or um, which a cool solution to that, which I learned from MythBusters, is if you have a hole in your radiator, to you're gonna need a new radiator anyway, but just to get you to the next garage, crack an egg in the radiator. I kid you not. Because if you crack an egg in the radiator, the viscosity of the egg stops the leak, and because I think the radiator is hot, it basically cooks the egg into the hole of the radiator, and that's my best guess. All I know is if you crack an egg in the radiator, it stops it. My guess of how that works is that the viscosity slows it down, and then because it's so hot, that it basically cooks the egg in the hole of the radiator, and that stops the leak for the time being. And me and a customer almost had to resort to doing that to their car. Wouldn't have been the weirdest fix I've ever fixed a car with. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but this is actually fun. I'm actually enjoying this. This is worth staying in for. Talking to you guys. I love doing this. Like, I know it's late, but I love doing this for you guys. Because this is probably one of the highlights of my day, getting your comments in. And I wish I could do more vlogs, but I just don't have the time, and I don't have the amount of cigars I need to do it. Anymore. And the weirdest fix I've ever fixed a car was my old pickup truck. I used to have a big 1997 Ford F-150. Thing was massive. Like, it had the extended cab, but then in place of the normal bed that's usually on the back of an extended cab, I had the 8-foot bed, which is usually on just a regular, bench sheet cab. So my truck was an extra foot and a half longer than any other truck on the road. And then I had one of those big giant bump up caps that go over the bed. They go above like the actual roof of the cab of the truck. Then I had 8-inch roof racks on top of that. And my truck was 4-wheel drive, and I had big all-terrain tires on it. Well, not like super. Like my truck wasn't lifted, but it had one size bigger or two sizes bigger than the standard tire that usually goes on them, and they were all terrain. It was my first vehicle. Loved it. I so wish I had that truck still. I love it. soon as I don't have to commute anymore, I'm probably gonna get back into buying another pickup truck because I love it. I always describe myself as kind of a as if a goth fucked a redneck. So, um, but I love going out into the. I used to love taking my truck out into the woods. Um, I almost drove it off a cliff though once, and I was saved by a TV that was blocking the off-roading trail was a TV, and because it was a TV, I thought it was weird, so I got out and I actually walked the rest of the trail because I wanted to see where it went. And I went to the edge of a cliff, and then had that TV not have been there, in the middle of nowhere, I might have driven right off that cliff. But onto this tangent about this problem with the truck. So the head gasket started to leak, which means that coolant was being dumped into the cylinders, which means the check engine light was always on. Um, the oh, just the things that was going wrong with that truck. It was rusted, but I also did all the body work myself. I used to use that's one thing that I'm very grateful to my dad over is that he actually taught me a lot of hands-on skills. I mean, he didn't directly teach me how to do body work on a pickup truck, but he taught me just how to be really good with my hands. And so I did all the body work on it, but this was kind of the last straw because once the head gasket goes, you really can't. Nothing really fixes that problem, or you can fix it, but you're spending so much money. And so the head gasket was going, so coolant was leaking, dumping into the cylinders, which means I was burning coolant. Problem with that is that the truck would now always overheat. And the first time it happened, I was in a tunnel with only one breakdown lane. Um, there was only one breakdown lane the entire length of the tunnel, and it was only for like a 100-yard section. So I was able to find that spot, park it there, but there was no way either AAA was getting me. There was no way I would ever be able to get my parents in there to get me. So, uh, so I just was. Let's put it this way: I avoided any warranty on that truck that day because what I filled that radiator with was a combination of water, piss, and spit. So, yep, I took. This might be a little too much information, but I had an empty bottle of. I just had an empty like Powerade bottle, and I had to take a piss, and so Bob's your uncle. Um, so yeah, I drove home with piss as my coolant. But yeah, I getting back to the gas station. So yeah, we're often uh, forced to come up with interesting solutions to customers' problems with their cars breaking down there. Um, which is always fun because I'm the only one there, so not only am I running the register, cleaning the store, but I'm changing tires when they come in. But and pumping gas for people who don't know how to pump gas. So please, if you don't know how to pump gas, please learn because even though it's technically my job to help you, When it is below 0 out, I am not very happy going outside to teach you how to pump gas. Um, so yes, Roy, that was a long-winded answer to yeah. I do have to help. I have a question for you. Do you ever wear your hair tailed in the middle and long in the back? Oh, oh, you mean like um? Trying to think of what you mean by that. Like, you mean like short up front and then like long in the back? You mean like a mullet? I used to have a pseudo mullet before the bangs grew out and everything. Um, oh, okay. So not like tied back in the front, so like they hang in the front and then I haven't, but the only time I ever tie my hair back is when it's gonna get in the way. So if I have a piece hanging down, it's gonna get in the way anyway. So it's either everything tied back or nothing tied back. Not that I don't think that style looks good. Um, I honestly don't like to put much effort into my look. I'm kind of lazy that way. So anything that really requires anything thought wise to do to my hair doesn't usually end up happening. Um, so I mean, half the time you're lucky that I comb my hair. Never mind, do it in any fancy way. I'm sure being a long-haired guy, you have seen that. Yeah, I've seen that, and it actually does look good. I thought about trying it, but like I said, usually um, when I'm running out the door in the morning, it's not my first thought. My first thought is my car is going to be so cold when I go outside, and where's my coffee? um, well, I would have commented sooner, but as we move into the Christmas season, you know what that means. The classic holiday specials are running again, and tonight was Charlie Brown's 50th anniversary of the airing of the annual staple, so I had to tune into that. Plus, I already watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town last Friday, so there are a few more to go. I hope to get in. No cable here now, so I'm down to watching whatever the four main networks choose to run. Um, um, yeah, I would love to see National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but that's one that ABC Family plays on 25 Days of Christmas, and I don't get that now. I may either rent the DVD or go to my mom's and watch it. I absolutely love that movie. It always used to be an annual thing when I lived at home. Dad and I loved watching it together. Well, it looks as if you are incorporating something new into your vlogs, a question for us. So to answer what you asked, I would have to say that my best cigar experience was when I discovered a close friend of mine's smoking cigars, of which I had never seen before, and it was a really nice surprise considering all my other friends smoked cigarettes. and still to this day he smokes nothing but cigars, which is very encouraging. Well, I think due to the lateness of the day, I will conclude here, and as always, look forward to your next one. Good night from here, Rory. Thank you, Rory, for your comment. Let's see. Mark, you said 2:35 a.m. Well, it's not 2:35 a.m. here. But it is 2:45 p.m. here. I thought I'd check this out a little earlier today, and it looks as if I beat a certain someone to the comments this time. Anyway, I absolutely adore the nails. They look super on you. I know another friend of yours, okay, two friends of yours who will probably like them as much as I do. Of course, you could probably guess one of them I'm referring to. Yeah, I can guess. And what's this? Why it's showing a little Christmas spirit? The cutter sounds like a great gift idea for anyone who smokes cigars, and that's a pretty reasonable. That's pretty reasonable too, especially for the quality, craftsmanship, and the lifetime guarantee it comes with it too. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the cutter is extremely basic. Like it's not fancy at all. It's not like one of the fancy Cigar cutters. It's incredibly basic, but to me that's what's appealing about it because I mean certain things are decorative, like ashtrays can be decorative, which is why I have the Patron ashtray that I do, because that's a nice piece for my coffee table. But this cutter is just one solid hunk of steel with two blades, and the blades are incredibly sharp. And they're stainless with the backing plate, and it's really basic, but it works. It works, and it performs as good as any other cutter that I've ever seen. And with the backing plate, you can't beat it. So yeah, for the $7 for one that I spent, it's like that's like perfect. Like that's a steal actually in my opinion. I mean, Cigar does really good cutters. They're really nice. They're really well designed, and a bunch of other companies do that too. But at the end of the day, the only thing you're paying that extra money for is the looks and the aesthetic of it, and that quickly fades every time you drop it. And this one, like I said, basic solid piece of steel, no fancy designs on it. I drop this all the time, and there's nothing to damage cosmetically, and it's simple. It works. It's just the only reason why I do plan on getting another guillotine cutter soon, an open guillotine cutter, just if I need if the cigar starts tunneling, to be able to clip off a large piece instead of having to go what is this, 1/8 inch at a time. So yeah, it's I can't recommend a better cutter, and Cigar Obsession says the same thing. Like he uses the same cutter I do. I mean, he uses the same Prometheus lighter that I do, with even the same pattern too. I think, same cutter and everything. Actually, I shouldn't say he uses the same as I do. I use the same as he does because I bought it because he uses it, and it seems to be very, very good. I can't beat it. Well, I'm glad that you were able to catch my ever so short little video. I wasn't all that happy with it, and I wasn't planning on sharing it with YouTube, just you, but it's up on the channel, and I'll keep it there for now. Who knows? Maybe others will see it and want to know more about this Wyatt guy who is just so downright special. Thank you so much. I'm really just a guy who sits up behind his desk all day smoking cigars. That's it. Actually, I probably smoke too many cigars. um, but yeah, I'm really just a guy who sits here and fiddles around with a computer and a camera. That's it. Like I don't claim to be anything special really on YouTube because you know like what I enjoy, like I'll always say that, like what I enjoy most right now about YouTube is the community aspect of it. Like the community aspect amongst us as like a family here on this channel is so important to me. It's like my an extended family of mine. So and I love you guys being here and tagging along with me on this weird and and very interesting journey we call life. So thank you guys for so much for tuning in. I can't thank you guys enough because without you guys, like it really just be me talking into a camera. But with you guys, watching and commenting, it makes it makes everything worth it. Like it's like this is my favorite part is getting the comments. That is my favorite part of every video I release is like getting the comments. So thank you guys so much for being a part of that. So. And want to get in on the fun, and it's up to you. I did make another little video the same day showing my brother. I watched that too. That was pretty cool. Which I'm going to share here, but I may try and do another quickie at Christmas. Never been too fond of those quickies. I like to get the full enjoyment out of the act if I'm going to do something, but I probably won't do a lot of videos. I did this one basically for you to say hi. I look like a goofy dork. No, you don't. No, because you look exactly the same as I did when I did my first video. You look exactly how everybody else did when they did their first video. Because it is petrifying being behind the camera for the first time, and you know that you're basically gonna put yourself out there to the entire world. Um, and that's a very scary thought at first, and it continues to be a scary thought. Like I always wonder when I'm saying something in these vlogs. I'm like, oh, did I seem like too mean there, or am I not taking that seriously enough, or am I like that runs through my head the entire time I'm making a video. Is like, was this funny enough? Was this serious enough? Did I cover enough detail? Did I address the actual point, or did I kind of just Mickey Mouse around it? Um, and I'm so behind on videos, and I do apologize. I do want to make a refugee one, and I do want to make the one about the Planned Parenthood shooting, just to address some of the uh, the media bias, which everybody's talking about. So I mean, I guess I technically don't have to talk about, but I just think that the more people who get that out there is important because, well, in short, what the guy did is nothing less than terrorism. So, but no, like because it's some white guy that it's all of a sudden become, oh, he just, he's a mentally disturbed individual and not a terrorist. I'm like, no, that's domestic terrorism. That is what he did. You can you can use your fancy words to try to beat around the bush there, but you know that's my one problem with any news station is they tend to beat around the bush so much instead of just calling things out. Um, which is why I used to like the Young Turks, but they've sort of fallen into that same category of um, well, as you guys probably know by now, I am not a liberal and I'm not a conservative. I'm kind of whatever one has the most logical argument, I am for. And I am very pro Bill of Rights. So those I hold in, like I said, the highest regards of law. Um, but the the problem I found recently with the Young Turks, eh, and I liked them for calling out a lot, and they still do call out a lot of media bullshit. But the problem is that they naturally lean liberal, and that very often comes out in their um, in their rhetoric or in their news broadcast, and which is fine because most of the time I do support liberal ideas, but there's times where the liberals can be the PC police you know of 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 America. So and sometimes the correct answer is not politically correct, and it is not you know I find like the problem with liberals is that they like to share the blame with everybody, which is good in a sense, but not so much in the sense that uh, they they place blame on or they like they'll say, oh, everything is equally bad, like all religions are equally bad, and I'm like, no, because I guarantee you if I burned a Bible and if I burned a Quran, I have a feeling a lot of Christians would be very upset with me and maybe try to trash me in the comment section, but if I burned the Quran, I'd be facing credible death threats. And like you saw the reaction when they burned the Bibles and the embassies got attacked. I mean, they burned the Quran and the embassies got attacked. So I'm like, no, religions aren't all equally bad. I mean, I guess if you look in the grand scheme of things, back to when Christians were doing were involved in the Inquisition and the Crusades, but just now in the time period we're living in, modern Islam is so much more dangerous than 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 Christian um, than modern day Christianity. Because modern day Islam is throwing gay people from rooftops, and I don't see that happening with modern day Christianity. Um, so no, and the problem with most people who live with the liberal blinders on say no, all religions are equally bad. To single one out is racist or something. Even though one, that's kind of a cheap shot because religion is not a race. Uh, Religion is something that you choose, so it is not a race. racism and sexism only involve things that you don't get to choose. So, but also, you just need to call out facts when you see them, and I don't see, like I said, I don't see, I mean, there's a fair amount of Christian terrorists, like the one that committed the shootings of Planned Parenthood, but you don't see um, um, like I said, you see a lot more horrific acts and deeds committed by Islamic individuals than, and not all of them, but it's just scary the amount that actually support. I did my in the Charlie Hebdo video. I explained it, which should be on my my main channel. So, but yeah, so I just find the problem with liberals is that well, I support them 90% of the time. There's sometimes where I just stand there and watch them with their liberal blinders on, avoiding actual issues by just placing the blame on everybody and not just on the group of individuals that seem to be perpetrating incredibly violent and horrible acts. So that's why I don't. I mean, that's why I sometimes don't call myself a liberal, because so this is the way I describe our two-party system is conservatives are idiots and liberals are spineless. So, so yeah, that's kind of, yeah. Conservatives are idiots and liberals are spineless. And to blindly follow one on either side is against reason. Like to vote, like I know so many people who vote Democrat just because they're Democrat. I'm like, huh? And like people who vote Republican just because they're Republican. Or just they'll vote somebody in just because there's a little R next to their name and know nothing about them. Which, I mean, Mitt Romney got into a lot of trouble saying that like 85% of the vote doesn't really matter because he'll never have a chance to actually change their mind. And I actually wasn't a Romney supporter, but I'm like, yeah, that's true. A lot of people just vote one way and you won't change their mind. But that's why I'm trying to find a good Republican candidate out there in the race. It's really hard. But because I mean I love Bernie Sanders, but I'm not a huge fan of Hillary Clinton, so I don't know if I want to vote for her but enough about politics and stuff like that. But I don't know. I got way off topic. Yeah, so no, you look like everybody who's ever done a YouTube video for the first time. So, or for the first few videos, which, that's how I was. So, it all comes with time, and everybody's still nervous doing it. So, but enough with that. On to your new question of the vlog. What was our best cigar experience or memory? Mine would have to be the first encounter at a bar with friends, and two of them were taking out cigars and lighting up in front of me. Seeing them smoke those big ring gauge premiums was a real sight, not to mention all the smoke swirling around me was such a high that the smell just overpowered me, and that I wanted some of that. So one of the guys I just happened to be with offered me a cigar when he saw what it did to me. Being a total noob, he cut it for me and showed me how to light it. And after taking my first few draws, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the taste. So it was from that moment there at the bar that I took my first real cigar. I guess that's one of the reasons why I love going to cigar bars so much, being around guys who smoke real cigars. And there's nothing like the smell of a great premium. I guess you could say that was also my aha moment that you have talked about. That would be mine. I emailed a picture of my pierced tongue to Rory. He asked if I still put it in, and I do. He likes the pic of it. If you want to see it, I told him he can email it to you off his phone if he can get it to go through. Well, my friend, glad I saw it. Well, my friend, glad I saw this today. As always, I hope you are doing well, staying that way. And who knows, maybe the spirit of Christmas will give you a little more to get excited about. I need to go see Santa before he heads back to the North Pole. I enjoy sitting on his lap and chatting with an old friend. I always have such a big wish list for Christmas. I never know what's going. I never do know what's going to pop up when I visit him. Oh, Sleigh Balls Ring, are you listening? Oh. Smoke on, buddy. Mark. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, I think all piercings are pretty cool, so, if you want to email it to me, sure. Or if Rory wants to email it to me. Or if you already did, I just been so behind on emails and everything, and just, yeah. But onto my best cigar experience. And I actually had to think about this one because I often smoke alone. But I think my best one was actually when I was with one of my dad's friends. And my dad's friend is a big cigar smoker. Not to the extent I am, because he only smokes a few times a week, but he's really into them as well. And I remember I was smoking both a cigar and pipe that night. I was basically smoking like a chimney that night because I was only 18 and I couldn't drink. And but all the adults were drinking, and I was sitting there next to him, and him and my dad's other friends, and they were arguing how a plane could simulate the G-forces of being just normally upright. Like if you can't see anything, and if you're spinning, that you can seem to be almost upright, even if you're spinning out of control, and especially if you can't see. And they didn't buy it. And he was trying to explain to them, yes, you can do this. It's the forces and the spin that cause you to perceive you being upright when you're actually spinning out of control. And they were all arguing and saying that can't happen. And I actually, when I was chiming in because I'm a physics guy, I was explaining to them how it works, and he's had a few to drink at this point, to say the least. So he turns to me and he starts arguing against me. He's like, no, I'm telling the truth. I'm like, I know, I'm helping you. Shut up. Shut up. I'm helping you with this argument. So I just remember just getting a kick out of the fact that we're arguing over the, we both believe in the same thing, but he just doesn't understand that I'm actually like I'm saying the exact same thing he is, just explained a different way, and he's like, no, 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 I mean this. I'm like, I know that's what I'm saying. And yeah, it was so funny. I'm like, we're arguing, and we I'm like, we're I'm like, yeah, I know you're right. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it was pretty. That was just a really fun night. Um, um, yeah, smoked a good amount of cigars that night. Um, but I find that the most important thing, like I had a shit cigar that night. I was having a Garcia Vega, um, cheap little piece of junk. Um, but I find that no matter how bad the cigar is, that the environment almost matters just as much. Like I didn't mind having a bad cigar because I was enjoying myself so much with just the laughter and just being in that atmosphere of, he's smoking a big giant cigar and I'm smoking a cigar and we're arguing, both saying saying the same thing, and we're just arguing. And it wasn't like arguing, like yelling at each other. It was kind of just like joking around. It was like, no, no, I'm saying this. No, I know you're saying this. This is, and I'm trying to prove that you're right. So even though it was a shit cigar, just the whole situation kind of made up for it. So that was probably my best cigar memory. Um, so uh, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun night. We were sitting around a fire during it. It was probably, you know, it was at a campsite. Everybody brings their kids, and all the younger kids were in bed. So I was I was 18 at the time, so I was chilling with the adults, and yeah, just the sheer amount of laughter and shit and the stories that were told, um, really made up for it. So yeah, that was I'd love to go back and do that again sometime. And I still enjoy a cigar around the fire. You can't beat it, especially with a giant group of friends just telling stories of just shit that you've done when you were younger. Um, so yeah, that was my best cigar memory. And now for the new question of the vlog. What is the cigar that you've looked forward to having to the most and that you've actually had? So leave a comment in the description down below, and I will read them next week. So once again, that's what cigar have you looked forward to the most having and have already and have gotten the opportunity to have. So like not like a cigar that you really hope to have one day, but like one that you looked forward to and then already had. And so and I'll leave mine in this as well. Well, I'll read mine next week while I read yours. So I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.